Once we step into that type of urban decay, there's no turning back. And that's what we need to avoid. And that's the reason why we have been computing all these numbers. So we know what kind of action, what kind of strategy do we need to implement. Because when we talk of water supply right now, we are actually in the orange. We are using 29% more than what can be supplied to us. And come 2043, we would be at 138%, 38% more than what can be naturally supplied to us. When we talk of forests and green cover, you can see we're 63% beyond the standard of each and every one of us having access to forests and green cover. So ang standards po, in other words, when we compute for carrying capacities per capita, per person. So that means that there should be green spaces, forests for each and every person of the city. There's a certain area. Forest po should be 80 square meters per person. And if you multiply that to 380,000 and 1.2 million, considering visitors, then it's really a carrying capacity deficit. So same thing po with transport and mobility at 151% come 2043. Housing and land, 147%. And I think your interest po is on the next one, tourism, which is an important sector of the total economy of the city at 155%. 55% higher in terms of demand than what can be supplied. Same thing with energy, as well as disaster risk and safety. So it's not a good picture po. So you now know what keeps me awake at night. So thinking about what could be the possible strategies and PPAs that we need to implement, considering the breadth of the sectors that need to be governed. Ito po yung yearly problem ng local government. Hindi po kasya yung budget to fix all these carrying capacity deficits. And that's the reason why we talk about PPP, public-private partnerships. And we have started with that for several big-ticket projects, as we call it. And I think po by next year, we are going to see the construction of the multimodal bus terminal at Tolitogan. What will we do with the public market? What shall we do with bulk water supply? These are all expensive undertakings, and the budget of the city will never be enough. And we need to look for strategies, and I think po that I'm in a good crowd right now because we really have to come together to form these partnerships so that we can move towards reducing these deficits as you see them right now. So we now have a new city vision. It took us 8 months to have this final version of the vision. And it talks about 2043. 2043 being the deadline of carrying capacity, irreversible urban decay. Instead, we look at Baguio by 2043. That is livable, inclusive, and creative. The antithesis of urban decay. And I think that you would agree with that. Because 2043, that's less than 20 years from now, our lifestyles, our businesses will still need to thrive. And it will have to be this kind of effort towards livability, towards inclusivity, towards creativity that will bring us to a better state less than 20 years from now. So it takes a lot of effort po, and we need to really act right now because as you have seen in my graph earlier, we should have started 1988. And we're now 2026. And we need to bridge 40 years of deficits that's been mounting ever since. And make sure that come 2043, our children and our children's children would experience the value that we have experienced, the better states. And with that, since we need are already. So we are specifically data-based already, data-driven decisions and scientific. There's been a lot of scientific studies for us to be able to validate those numbers that you have seen earlier. So we now have what we call a livability index, and it's done per barangay. We have 128 barangays. Each one of us belongs to a barangay. We either reside there or we operate our business in any of these barangays. And we can now measure if they are livable or declining in livability. What makes a livable barangay? What makes a livable city? It has to have all these 10 factors present in our communities. Number one, it should be healthy. Dr. Brillantes is here. And we have to make sure that each and every barangay in the city, 128 of them, should have proper sewage, proper STPs, sewage treatment systems. They should have good waste management systems. There should be clear water on the waterways in each of these barangays. That's what we mean by having a healthy place. Second is food sources. We are landlocked. All our 80% of the food that we consume, we buy from the outside. And for us to be able to achieve self-sufficiency and food security, just in case something might happen in the future and our borders are closed, then there should be food sources available here for us. But as I've said, 80% comes from the outside. Therefore, we need to expand urban gardens. They can be horizontal, vertical, on top of roofs on any floor, as long as it could provide us additional sources for food. Third would be economic opportunities, and you are that source of opportunity in your communities, in your barangay, because of course there's more of the labor market in the city. 75% of our population flow are working age, and therefore they need to find possibilities of jobs within the city, and kayo po ang nagpro-provide. We need to have a safe place, barangays, climate safety is measured. We also measure accessibility. Can we move from point A to point B by any mode? Pwede bang lakarin? Do we need to take transport? Is public transport available? All those we have measured. There should be the essentials. Kaya pang land use natin magbabago. Because we're saying now that each barangay should be able to offer essentials, like what? Drugstores. They should be present in barangays already. We don't need to travel far distances to access these essentials. Mobility is also measured the same way with risk management. Civic spaces, it should be present in our barangays. So if you walk or if you try to imagine walking for 15 minutes, may madadahanan po ba kayong park, playground, green space? So if the answer is no, that's the state we are in right now. But for a city to be livable, we should have access to these spaces. And most importantly, number 10 is water. So we can measure this every year, and we can report to you where we are right now when it comes to livability. We also have what we call the inclusivity index. So we measure access to health and environment, access to education, access to economic opportunities, as well as empowerment. In terms of education, 99.9% po ang nagtatapos dito sa city, but maybe you have read somewhere that there's a problem on what? On the quality of education that's provided. So it takes a community po to raise a child. And that means that there should not just be learning within the campuses, but from us, who are members of that greater community. And empowerment. And that's the reason why we do a lot of public consultation, town hall meetings, because I'm grateful for that I was invited today, because we need to share this to you. Because it takes all of us, I go through the rest of my slides, it really takes all of us to to be able to move our city towards a better state. And we also have creativity index. Since this is one of our main tourism